Hillary Clinton is teaching a course at Columbia University called Rape Apologia for the Feminist Leaders of Tomorrow.
They are blazing a trail by platforming a woman who spent her career shutting down the women that her husband assaulted. I think that's amazing.
Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Sorry. I had to look that up. Somebody just posted a comment. That's not right. Turns out, see, this seems even more ridiculous than that. Turns out she's teaching a course on foreign policy decision making.
Oh. Not on rape apologia?
Because she's good at covering up her husband's rape. She's been very skillful at that. She's been very talented in helping her husband get away with all the sexual assaults and things like that. But foreign policy decision making doesn't seem like something she's particularly qualified for, given that a good 99% of her foreign policy decisions have been utterly disastrous. But let's see what this course is about. They put out a video. Let's see if they can win us over here.
Oh my God.
What is it?
It's Hillary Clinton. She's running.
What? What? Hillary's running again?
I know. I heard that's so crazy. This is wild. She's running again.
Okay, stop. I have to pause it right there before we get to the reveal. Okay, stop. Just that. It's wild. She's running it. Now, obviously, this is scripted, right? But they are marketing this to students, right, who are supposedly very excited to have Hillary Clinton come and give a lecture. Only on an Ivy League campus would a campaign announcement come with this level of enthusiasm. And what this video shows is not just the vapidity and sort of banality of these Ivy League elite institutions, but the just bone deep evil and utter disregard for real life that they have. I'll explain what I mean by that after we play this, if we can get through it, because this is really something.
She's running again.
Here I am.
Hillary, you're running again.
Well, I sure am, Karen. I just got here early for the new class we're teaching together on foreign policy decision making.
Kill me now.
Don't start until September.
Yeah, but I wanted to be prepared, Karen. You know, when it comes to crisis situations, you've always got to be prepared.
Prepared? Yeah. I think you're more prepared than anyone to teach this course. Now, what are we going to call it?
Inside the Situation Room.
Yes. And I'll cover the theory of political decision-making and strategy.
And I'll cover what it was actually like in the room during the bin Laden raid, the Iran sanctions, the Gaza ceasefire, you name it.
Okay. I just named, you name it. I just named 3 of my, 900 foreign policy decisions in my life. I named the 3 that didn't end in absolute catastrophe, the way the other 897 of them have. Yeah, just, and so on and so forth. Honduras. Oh, no, I probably shouldn't mention that one. No, I don't know what. Shouldn't teach about that.
You think they're going to have a class on her Iraq vote?
The Iraq vote, we came, we saw, he died thing. Yeah. I'm wondering what the lectures are going to be there. All right, here we go.
Hey, but are you ready for whatever questions the students throw at you?
Bring it on. Now, if you'll excuse me, Karen.
Oh, my God.
I've got to run.
Oh, my God. She's
you heard the secretary. Horrible. If you get inside the Situation Room, come prepared.
Inside the Situation Room. Inside the Situation Room is the safest place. Yeah. Inside the Situation Room is the safest place you can be if Hillary is inside the Situation Room. Because when she's in the Situation Room, everywhere outside the Situation Room is liable to blow at any second, right? So it's better to be alongside her than anywhere else in the world, I suppose. But go ahead.
Okay, my man, Robert Penner, you're probably here. Yo, let's talk, man. We're going to Columbia. We're going to go interview these people. We got to ask, because I'm like a mile from Columbia. Like where that's shot, I'm like a mile from there. Yeah, I've got to go on campus and start asking people what they think about this.
Interview the students. Well, when the course starts in the fall, you should go interview the students who are enrolled. See what they have to say about being enrolled in this course. No, it's just incredible. It's just absolutely incredible. It just exposes these Ivy League institutions for how evil they are. The psychotic evil to give Hillary Clinton a class called In the Situation Room about her foreign policy decisions. At a certain point, your disregard for the implications of a person's decisions becomes evil. Certainly if you're smart enough to know better, which certainly the dean of Columbia University is. And this is the point that I've made about these people from day one. The reason they idolize Hillary Clinton is because she represents to them the pursuit of power, the ruthless pursuit of power. Because in these people's minds, that is all that matters, is empowerment and aggrandizement for themselves. They do not care about creating a better world. They care about creating a nicer world for themselves. And their vision of a nicer world is one in which ambitious, young, rich, privileged bimbos have an easier time obtaining absolute power. And Hillary Clinton represents the closest that they've ever come to that. And so they love her for it. How she wields that power, what she does with that power, the implications of how she puts that power into action doesn't even matter to these people. It matters nothing to these people because in their world, all that matters is the pursuit. It is all about them. They don't give a flying fuck about anyone else, which is why they have no problem whatsoever. In fact, they are proud to host this psychotic mass murdering maniac have a course called In the Situation Room, Foreign Policy Decision Making with Hillary Clinton.
Politics for them are aesthetic. It's not, they don't have political views. They don't have political opinions. This is just an aristocracy being trained to take their places in the aristocratic class. That's what people at this university are. And that's why they don't have any particular opinions about what Hillary Clinton actually did. Because that's it. They
know what she did. These are informed people. These aren't idiots. This is Columbia. Sure. What do you think? They don't know?
Well, sure, they know, but they've swallowed the whole technocratic neoliberal idea that our elites don't really make mistakes. And when they're wrong, it's because it was a very complicated situation and you just don't get it. And even if they turned out to be wrong, nobody could have done better in that situation. It was so complicated. There were so many pieces on the board, and you just don't get all of these complex geopolitical elements to the story. That's how they're trained to think, and they're being trained to be McKinsey consultants, to be Goldman Sachs goons, to be people in the State Department. And the only way you get in to those places is if you absorb the attitudes of the elites. You know, this is like if you had a school that trains you to join the court of Louis XIV. What do you walk around questioning the aristocracy and its prerogatives? No, you parrot the talking points. That's how you join that class. That's how you get invited to court. They're all trying to be invited to court. That's it. They're going to go to various little duties within the court of Louis XIV.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, yes, you're right. At a certain point, though, I think it's just at a certain point, what do they say? Like, negligence is culpability past a certain point. There's a such thing as criminal negligence, right? And when you see, it's one thing to see some, brainwashed, housewife who just veges out to the View every morning, hear Joy Behar say, well, the Iraq War, that was a long time ago, so get over it. She voted for it, sure, but get over it already. Okay, okay, yes, they're insufferable, but whatever. People like that exist. You can't do anything about it. You're talking about Columbia University here. You're talking about an institution of not just higher learning, but elite learning, right? You're talking about a very esteemed institution of people who fancy themselves intellectual, who fancy themselves progressive, right? Who fancy themselves enlightened. And to go ahead and platform, like I said, an unrepentant war criminal to give a course called In the Situation Room. At that point, you are proactively celebrating the mass murder of people around the world, which I will have you say is quite unwoke. And to tie this into some other topics that we're not talking about this evening, but maybe this answers some people's questions about why we are critical of things like CRT and gender-neutral language, because what do I say about college all the time? It is not, you don't go to college to overthrow the system. You go to college to benefit from the system and talk like you feel really bad about benefiting from the system. So the same person who goes and listens to this murderer lecture them about foreign policy decisions, in the next course, they're going to learn about critical race theory. And they're going to think, well, what a great person I am for understanding and processing my whiteness and the privilege that comes with it, right? That gives them the sort of moral off-ramp, right? It gives them this sort of moral leeway to sit in Hillary Clinton's classroom. And that's what it's all about. That's what these abstract, theories are all about. They're all about giving privileged people in pursuit of more privilege. They're all about guilt management for them. It's processing for them. They feel like they're doing their part to create a better world by absorbing these theories, while the next period or the next, class cycle, whatever, they're listening to Hillary Clinton talk about, I don't know if she's going to get into the Honduras coup. I don't know where on the syllabus that's going to fit. But that's who they're listening to.
It would be funny if
themselves such great progressives because they're down with CRT.
It would be funny if you actually had like one student with a brain who asked her questions like that in class.
Well, yeah,
like asked her about. It could happen. You never know if one of them, managed to slip through. But yeah, this is, this is part of why I talk about the very granular identity categories and the density of the language of those social justice movements. That's part of the purpose of it. It's to distinguish a class. It's to distinguish your class by it's what better way to distinguish your class than by speaking in terms that nobody understands and embracing concepts that nobody agrees with outside of your class. That's elevating yourself above other people, right? Well, you don't get it. If you ever debate these people, they'll so quickly go to dense jargon because that's the whole point. The whole point is to elevate themselves above you. It's not about justice. It's not about actual social justice. It's about distinguishing your class. And you're right. It's also about justifying those class privileges.
Right.
Because I'm such a good person. I read White Fragility twice.
Right.
I've read everything Robin DiAngelo ever wrote. I even bought the Black Panther comic book written by.
Whoever enrolls in this class is a bad person. You have to be a bad person to enroll in this class. You're at Columbia. You're smart enough to know better. Okay. You're going to have people enrolling in this class who also lecture people on social media about what racists and homophobes, transphobes, troglodytes they are. You're going to have those people. And this just brings it into such clear focus, because just think of the absurdity, and this is what we talk about a lot on this show, the absurd contradiction of sitting in Hillary Clinton's lecture hall, absorbing all of her wisdom about all of the, horror she has wrought around the world. And then the next hour, you're going to be virtue signaling about CRT, and you're going to take those values home, and you're going to fight on social media with your cousin in the Midwest who doesn't know that jargon, and you're going to make them feel like they're the bad people.
Please clap.